What's going on, everyone? We are live and direct. A little bit of extra show from the Rolling Thunder podcast, and we brought on my buddy DJ here, and he is a employee from Ohio Generator, and I figured we'd do a little 14.4 volt talk. Ask me anything, any kind of questions, stuff like that. Leave them in the chat. Otherwise, we are here to just have a good time. See if anyone pops in right away. But
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on, dude.
Oh yeah, no problem. I mean, I always appreciate coming on.
So this kicker KXA 2400 we were talking about earlier. What did you have that hooked up to?
Single MTX 512, sealed box, 2 ohms. Pretty much it. And I haven't used it since probably about a year is when I last used it, because I didn't have the proper electrical or anything like that to really put her to the test.
Right. Yeah, those KX 2400 amps, I know from experience, they need a lot of power. I mean, even with my lithium that I have, and technically I should be good to 5 to 10,000 watts with 2 of those JYHP 40s. But once I start clipping, and it's like a decent heavy clip, my voltage, it suffers, man. I start pulling current. I'll see around 12.8 volts, 12.5, and it's like, whoa. Is it really pulling that much?
No.
Yeah.
Is that at idle, or is that?
That's full tilt boogie. At idle, I do have some issues. Nothing too crazy. Ever since I put that XS 3400 under the hood, it definitely helped. What's up, 25 to life, bro? This is your show, 14.4 volt talk. Yeah, this is my buddy DJ here. He's pretty cool. He's a math wizard, car audio guy, and now alternator fabricator / worker, whichever way you want to put it. So, and if you missed the last show, we were doing the Rolling Thunder. We did a little bit of talking about how we got into Ohio Gen. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them about how alternators work, how they're built, what kind of performance you can get out of them, anything. Let it comment down below.
What year's your Eclipse, Andy?
Mine is a 2007 GS. What's up, Vega?
Trying to see what crank pulley that has on it, because
I think it's a 1/7/8 I put on there, or you guys put on there.
Yeah, but your crank pulley.
Oh, the crank pulley. Oh, I thought you meant.
I'm looking it up here. Is it 2.4?
Yes. DJ, alternator for a 4,000 watt system. Kind of a vague question, but we'll give a vague answer for that. What do you think?
Well, 4,000 watts. Is that total amplifier power, or is that just for the bass amp? Or that's the first question you should ask. And how many battery and what kind of batteries do you plan on running?
Right. Yeah, batteries can make a difference, because say if you would just run your high output alternator, can you really get more power out of that than a stock alternator and 3 batteries? What do you think on that?
Absolutely. You can run, batteries do nothing until your alternator runs out of current. So you can run a 4,000 watt system on 2 350 amp alternators all day long with one, batteries from AutoZone, because it'll never dip into that voltage.
Right.
That's what I was
Go ahead. I was just saying, I was kind of worried about people that get big alternators and they don't put any kind of batteries in their car. Like, they just run their stock up front, and I feel like that's a lot of stress on the alternator. Is that a thing?
No, not really. Not really. I run on my system DC 5K, 1 alternator, 300 amp. It's a rebuilt iRaggy that I put some tweaks on. 2 excess power batteries, a group 65 and a group 34, and I hold 14.5 all day long. Full tilt boogie at idle. So that's it's crazy. Yeah. And even with the Kicker 2400, I held 13.8 at the lowest. But that kicker really pulled some current when it was clipping. Like you said, they pull some current.
That's crazy, and it's almost like whenever the voltage isn't there, they just keep pulling more current to make the same kind of power.
So I see your question here. 25 hertz. 4K system, RMS, AGM batteries. What kind of vehicle is it for? Another question I got to ask is
2
what kind of
amps, he
vehicle?
says. He's got 2 amps.
Yeah, 2 amps.
215, so probably like 2,000 watt RMS amps. So we'll say 4,000 RMS, and then you're going to see anywhere from 2K to 4K at the very most. So that's tough to say. And then he has AGM. Now, is that like 1 AGM, 2 AGM, 3 AGM? I don't think anything more is going to make a big difference.
Because the math is you need 70 amps per 1,000 watts. 04 Honda Accord. So 04 Honda Accord, Hondas are weird because they're a smaller. Most Hondas are a smaller case. It's a mini case, so you can only do so much of that. The maximum you can get out of those is like 300. If you do one of those, one Ohio generator, 300 amp, 4,000 watt system, you should be set with some good batteries. Like some good excess power or some North Star batteries. 3 of them, 2 of them should be good on a 300 amp.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like that's the bare minimum just to be safe, just in case you are pulling more current than you planned on, Got to have some kind of reserve, something. And to start your car, them crank amps,
absolutely.
Right? Okay, so 3,000 RMS for his subs, and then 1K for his mids and highs. So probably even less, because you'd be surprised of how much power you don't use on your mids and highs.
Exactly.
Music's all over the place, especially higher frequencies. Vocals, it takes very little power to make something sound loud at a higher frequency. So, if you have a 50x4, or we'll say a 250x4, if you have a 1K, how much of that power are you actually using, and you're bleeding your ears? Maybe half of that, and then after that, you're probably clipping.
I only run a 45 watt Alpine, like the little mini one. It's like this big.
Yeah.
Power pack.
That's like the motorcycle ones.
Yeah. That's all I run for my mids and highs. And
wow.
It's not like a sound quality right now, but I'm going to go all. I have a US Acoustic 6-channel amplifier that I bought. I met the owner at Slamology. Great dude. His system was amazing. Sounded so clean. So I bought one of his amps. I'm gonna use that on just the front. So just a 6.5, a 3.5, and a tweeter. One channel
your whole
per
front
sub.
stage.
Yeah. Whole front stage. That's what I'm going to do with that.
Damn. Is that what you had in your Lincoln?
No, that was all stock.
Oh, nice.
I was going to do that with the Lincoln, and it never. It obviously I wrecked it, so I mean, it went out the door.
Damn. That's crazy. I feel bad when anyone wrecks their cars, man, especially when it's your base car or your only car. It's even worse then, but damn, my regards. That's terrible. So, if you guys have any other questions, man, let us know. But
25 hertz, 300 amp alternator, call Ohio Gen, 330-675, I can't remember that number.
You almost got it, yeah.
330-675, something like that. Just go on Google, type in Ohio Gen. It'll pop up. Give them a call. Tell them I sent you over.
Absolutely.
They probably have something for that.
They're good people. I still got to put on my darn stickers. I've been slacking. I got to put my Team Base Outlaw stickers on. I got to put on the Ohio Gen ones. I got things to do.
I've done a sticker and a whole box of them over there.
He's 25 said, when you say 2 batteries, do you mean the main battery and then the extra battery for the system? Missed it. Well, I mean, you can answer that, but I would say at least one in the front, one in the back. You know what I mean?
Yep. That's what I do. I run one battery in the front, one battery in the back. And the way you wire them is very important. So have your battery up front, have one positive and one ground wire going to the battery in the back. Or else it'll confuse the regulator on the alternator and it'll blow the alternator up. Which it does happen, 40%
so you're saying
of the time.
Run two runs, like a positive and negative run going from the front to the back?
Positive and negative run to the front to the back.
Now, what about a unibody? Does that make a difference if it's full frame or unibody?
Unibody, you don't have to do it because it's one complete structure. But if it's a body on frame car, then it does make a difference, like a Crown Vic or. Because
that's what I was thinking about doing to help with the power voltage drop, because I'm trying to pull, way too much current through 1 aught gauge wire. It can do it, but let's do it a little bit better. And I was thinking either, dual runs of positive front to back, dual runs for the high up or for the big 3, which is already done, or run a large ground wire all the way from front to back. But I heard it can make a difference and it cannot, and like you said with the unibodies, it's almost like, does it make a difference or does it? I don't know. That's a really good thing to test, you know, but how do you test that? Resistance of the ground? I'm not too sure.
You just have to throw it in and see what she does. I mean, that's the best thing you could do.
That wire's expensive, man. I even go for down for sound, you know what I mean? It's like $200 for 50 feet, but it's still...
Well, yeah,
I mean, because I usually
go to my local
would get the
welding
welding.
supply shop.
What's that?
I go to my local welding supply shop. It's 214 foot.
I do the 2-aught welding wire. That's what I have right now, front to back. Because that was cheap, you know. But I do like the welding wire. It is nice. It's about the same amount of copper as you get when you buy, you know, certified 0-gauge OFC car audio wire that's not oversized. You're going to get the 1-aught for that or the 2-aught for the welding. It's going to be the same. But it is nice with the flexibility and the strands, you know, because that's like almost the reason why you can't use, you know, 1-aught house wire in your car. Because one, it can bend. If it bends too much, it can become brittle and then you lose connection, or it's contact points. There's a lot of things, but it's all conspiracy, I feel, in some ways, you know?
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, get Rhino. It's 180 for 1-aught.
Let's look into that. I never heard of that brand.
Let's see, 50 foot over. Yeah, right. That's about the same price as, you know, the down for sound wire. Paid $200 and it was free shipping, and I got it in 2 days, and I got JP to sign it. You know what I mean? So that's not $20. You know.
JP signature, add 3 DVDs.
Absolutely, man. I'm thinking about doing the same thing. You know, it's cool. High five. Working on a wire update video this weekend. You got to check out his videos.
Yes.
He does awesome where he cuts it, you know, to the foot, weighs it, pulls off the rubber, you know what I mean, weighs the rubber, weighs the copper, and just kind of gives his insight on it, or you know, his perspective on it. And it's pretty cool. And he has a chart. I love charts, you know what I mean? It's like, well, let's see here. Oh, yep, this one's better for that. And it's tough because that kicker wire is darn expensive, but it's really good. And it's like, well, what do you want?
You know, if you want to look into this, I got some NVX wire and kicker wire, and I swear they're made in the same factory because they're both tinned. They're both the same size, but you know, I swear they're made in the same factory. If not, they're very, very close.
Right, and you know what I mean, like how Scott was saying with his Power Hog. You know, they build this stuff over China, Japan, whatever, and so does Kicker. But you know what I mean, they have quality control just like any company, and they go the extra mile with stuff. But like you said, it's quality stuff, and you know what I mean, how many places are you going to find quality stuff? So eventually you start running out of places, and it looks the same. And I'm sure they put their little, you know, signature on it to make it different, and that's about it, and you know, all that kind of fun stuff.
Yes,
2-aught welding.
Absolutely.
Yes. Well, I mean, the first time I got the actual wire for my run, because it's not the eBay 0-gauge, it's like 4-gauge CCA crap. I went with the welding wire. It was definitely cool. What's up, Subwoofer King? Cool guy, like his channel.
I've seen his videos too.
DJ is correct. Heck yeah. King. Yeah, we got the 14.4 volt talk.
I was going to say that too. The M kits are very similar. Very, very similar.
That's nuts. See, I didn't really mess with MTX too much. See, that's why it's nice having you along here, because, you know, you got to have experience with the brand to know more about it, you know? Get your hands on it. Okay, Rhino is at the SSA audio. Okay.
That's where I'm looking for. I'm on Rhino's website right now, and I'm looking at their stuff, and this looks very familiar.
Now he said no eBay.
All the eBay. I bought everything on eBay.
Now, Rob, did you test? I know you're on here. Did you test this Rhino wire? You know, the one we're talking about for 180. If not, test it. Definitely something cool to do. I might to custom shrink in the future, but it's expensive for sure. Okay, for your big 3 kits. Yeah, High Five Egg, I know you know him now. Yeah, he does his big 3 kits and everything, man.
Yep.
That's crazy because that's a lot of labor involved too, putting those together. You know.
Absolutely.
But,
Absolutely.
hey, it's helping out the community too. You know, because you're getting your stuff done right, and it's not gonna rob your wallet too much.
No.
Rhino is pretty solid too. Okay. Yeah, because I know the down for sound wire I got, because it was down for sound, but I guess supposedly it's the same thing as certified basshead, just down for sound name on it. I wanted to rep JP, so I was like, I'd rather get that. I got certified basshead too. It's good stuff.
He owns both companies.
Okay. So I'm guessing certified basshead started out first or around the same time, and they kind of just met together.
I think, as far as I'm thinking, down for sound was its own thing, and then he made certified basshead its own thing, like their wire. And then he discontinued certified basshead like a year ago, and just made it down for sound wire.
That makes sense. See, that's cool. I didn't know that. No eBay due to taxes. I did get my Lightning Audio 5-channel 5600 for $100. No tax, free shipping. Lightning Audio 5600. Huh. Yeah, nice. That probably doesn't do 5600 watts. I used to have a Cool Audio 5500. That thing, woo, 1000 watts all day.
No, it's 5x600.
Oh, 5x600.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what would that? Like 150 RMS.
300 on a sub channel. 300 on the mids and highs.
Okay.
I think that's
still pretty impressive, though. That's the thing with those 5 channels. People want like 1000 RMS on that 5th channel, and then be able to drive all those 4 channels at like 100 RMS a piece. That's a pretty darn big board, you know. And you got to have a decent power supply.
It's huge.
What's up, Marshall? Yeah, the whole 14.4. I can't say it. Talk is here. These are the guys that are always in like the kicker chat, the 12-volt talk, the reverse polarity. That's why I kind of labeled it as that, because these guys, I got to get them on the show one of these times. I want to see their faces. They're hiding behind
33
screens.
33 variants of one on. Holy crap. That's a lot of one on.
Right. And at 1 foot a piece, you know what I mean? Put them all together. It's great.
33 feet.
Yeah. I mean, see, I told you this guy's good at math. You know?
33 feet.
Heck yeah,
Big
Tom.
shout out to Ohio Jen.
See, 25, True DJ. Ashy in the house. That's Tom's Marshall there. Ask questions, guys. Yeah, come on, bring them on. We're just hanging out. It's Friday night. What do us car audio guys even do? You know, I don't drink. I don't do anything anymore. You know, this is what I do. Car show's coming up. What's that? Next weekend? God, already.
Oh yeah, can't wait for the stereo shop.
Heck yeah.
Can't wait for them to have this show at the stereo shop.
Heck yeah, it's gonna be fun. Yeah, it's the Team SP Loud will be the car audio will be Saturday, and then the car show Sunday. And I actually went out of my own way and got medals for the car show day. So top 10 guys will get a medal, which is pretty cool.
Well, I'm already getting one of those. I can already see that.
Oh no, Kip Litzy is in the house.
There's Kip.
He's always chiming in on all the live streams. What's up, Kip? Love you, buddy. Let's see here. Hi-Fi. Do y'all make alts that have high output at low RPMs, aka idle?
So we have 2 variants for that are most common used. A small case 128 and a large case 138. The small case does about 180, 190 at idle. Assuming you have a 3-to-1 pulley ratio, the pulley ratio is very important. 3-to-1 is a standard measurement, and then the large case does 240 at idle with a 3-to-1 pulley ratio. But like I said, that pulley ratio is very important because some cars have a really, really small crank pulley and a really small alternator pulley, so it makes it like a 4-to-1 ratio where you're not going to get any power out of it until like 1200 or so RPM.
Right.
But the pulley ratio makes a big difference.
Yeah, I've always heard like diesel alternators, like in the diesel trucks, would do a lot better at idle because they're a lower RPM vehicle. Is that true? Or
it can be true. Certain diesels, like a Volkswagen diesel, it's not true on, but like a truck diesel, it can be true on depending on who makes the truck. Like it's a Dodge Cummins, or if it's a Power Stroke or something like that, it can make a difference. So it's vehicle dependent.
That's crazy. Yeah, because I know our buddy Soda Pop, yeah, he switched from like the high output stuff that we mess with and went with like diesel. So
Well,
I'm not too sure.
He went with he has 4 small case 320s by CES, and they probably do their power. More than likely, CES makes a good product. They probably do their power and whatnot, but he probably had better luck at idle output with going with the older 220s that he had because they were built for diesel trucks.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, his system. I would like to get him on one of the shows too. I was telling him about that about 5-6 months ago, but he's got to get a computer, you know. Soda loves to talk, but he's got stories up the wazoo, man.
Oh, he definitely does. When I bought them Team Sound Streams off of him, we talked for probably 2 hours, just about random, you know, about designing a box and about everything you could talk about car audio related. We were talking about it.
Heck yeah. Yeah, he's a cool guy. He's been doing that since 1992 or something like that. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Let me see if I can pull up his build here. Let's see. Give me a second.
On Google here, Soda Pop Kid, and I'm like, this is not Facebook.
Let's see. Soda. Nah, I'm going to have to look up Donald Wilson. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Can I share? Yeah, I'm going to share.
I'm not Soda Machines for sale. Damn it. It's a wrong button.
I can't. Well, here's a good question you can answer.
What do you think? So, well, the problem is how long is the run? How long is the run? That matters a lot. So if you're only going 2 foot, you know, 1 run will do. If you're going 25 foot, 2 runs will do. The length matters a lot.
Absolutely. Let's see here. We'll pull up some. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yep. Okay, perfect. Yeah, there's Sodas. Let's see. I never use Facebook on the laptop too much here. Let's see. No, we don't want photos of. We need his photos. Yeah, this right here is his new American Base HDs. I'm trying to think. They're like the Blue Series, which are brand new.
HD2s.
Okay, so you knew the name. So you remember. Good, good, good. Yeah, he's got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on 8 tera amp, 12Ks, and
8Ks.
8Ks. Okay,
Yeah.
8Ks, and he's got them wired at what, half ohm now? I think he got them lower, and he's clamping like 30,000 or something.
I think they're wired at half, but it could be 0.35. I can't remember what he said.
It's just like a nice musical setup. It does 160, 161 and a half, and the kick.
Oh yeah, it's definitely. I mean,
he's just been around
screaming
so long, you know. It's just crazy. Yeah, and he's the one that pretty much makes sure that the mecha shows happen in New Ken, at least from whenever I was, you know, started to really come up in the audio scene. He was always behind that. That's how me and him became good friends. Yeah, see, he got his 162 right here. And Radical X, because he's got all metal on his car, so he's not no modified 5 class. And he cuts hair, as you can see here. Does a 130.90 on his park and pound. That's your like 30-second run, 6 feet away, all that kind of fun stuff. Average score. Man, you got to see this guy's trophies he has. It's insane.
Oh, it's his trophies collection. I bet he has 800 trophies. It's ridiculous. It's insane.
It definitely is. Let's see if I can pull up. I made a video with him. Let me see. I think it was on my page. I put it on. Let me see.
Well, you're going on the live stream here. That's everybody going through Facebook. So just letting you know.
Okay. Let's see. I'm online and listening. Kip loves his seafood. Here, Here we
Definitely
go.
good.
Number of runs, how much current, what length, and how much voltage drop is acceptable to you. That determines the answer. Absolutely. There are so many variables with electrical, car audio, everything in between. It's just there's no for sure answer. It's like, well, it depends, you know.
And everybody now wants to run high voltage. Everybody now is like, I want to run 15.5 volts, and I'm like, sorry, it's not going to work out for your application. And they go, why not? And I say, well, because your vehicle is designed for 12 volts, not for 15.5. You will have problems with, you know, check engine lights, check battery lights, you know, several problems running at that high of a voltage. And some people don't have problems. If you have a dedicated, your best luck is have a dedicated alternator just for the high voltage, and then have another alternator for your factory battery and stuff like that.
That's like what Casey does. The guy that was on the show with us earlier,
right?
Not Scott, but Casey. Yeah, he does that. He has an alternator for his high voltage and alternator stock, I think, for his low voltage, and just like, you know, your headlights and your stock electrical stuff, which is really smart to do, if you ask me. Let's see here.
There's old Seth Duffy's car. I've seen that.
Yeah, here we go. Let me turn this down some. Don't want to get flagged for that.
Definitely not.
Let's see if we can pull that up. There we go. Yeah, there's Soda pulling his car out of the garage. I was helping him with his system. You know, nothing crazy, but there's his amplifiers. He's got all kind of lithium batteries. What's he got? The X-Max or C-Max?
Yeah, C-Max, 190 amp hour, I think. C-Max.
Right.
4 CES 320 alts. A bazillion miles of wire.
Bobby B is in the building. What's up, Bobby B? You're missing the fun stuff. No, you're just in time.
Hey, Bobby.
I'm glad Kip's in here too. This is awesome. I like doing these live shows. You know, it's just you got to figure out what to talk about, and having a guy from Ohio Generator and a good friend of mine, why not? You know.
It says we got 864 subscribers. Everyone.
Oh yeah, that's me. Yeah. Almost at 1K. But yeah, there's all his trophies. Like his literally upstairs room is just every single room is trophies. His bedroom, his closet, his second closet. It's just crazy. His hallway. He literally has like 700 trophies. You know, this guy travels. That's why he complains when people complain about traveling. He's like, listen, I've been everywhere across the United States just to travel and compete. And he's been doing it solid since the late 90s, you know, but he's been into car audio since, you know, me and you been our age, you know, and younger. He's been in it, so yeah, I definitely want to bring him on. I definitely do. He's cool, and he's someone fun to talk about.
I'm gonna have to go down there and set up my computer for him.
His personal closet. Literally.
Personal closet. You call it the trophy closet.
Yeah. It's insane. Like, literally, that's his bedroom right there, man. You know? Waking up trophies.
That's a second bedroom. It's a second bedroom.
That's it. I got lucky out here painting assault. Thanks, Kip. Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's easy to miss up on live shows, because if you don't get that notification, man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You'll be missing that.
I keep out for it. I got the check mark on my YouTube and everything. You go live, I'm on it.
Heck yeah, dude. It's always fun. But yeah, let me just exit out of here. Okay, cool. That was fun. Awesome. Yeah, if anyone's got any questions for DJ here, he works at Ohio Gen. He knows all about alternators. He's even really good with numbers. Man, you could just throw up some numbers and tell him to multiply, and he'll give it to you, man. He's a wizard with that stuff.
People don't know. Big 3 is a must. Definitely is a must.
Absolutely. I kind of call it the Big 4 just because, you know, you redo your engine ground or whatever, you know. But it doesn't roll off the tongue as easy as Big 3, you know. People, what's a Big 4? Am I forgetting something? No, you're good. You really don't need it, but...
Am I forgetting the number 4?
149 times 15. Go.
149 times 15... 2,235.
You heard him, folks. Now check it. It's probably right.
I think that's right. 2,235.
Equals drum roll.
I'll put the drum roll on here. Give me a second.
I can't. Yeah, you do got it. I can't. Let's see here. I'm not good at math like that.
Because you can't hear it.
2,235, folks. You've seen it first. This
Years
guy is a
ago.
wizard. Wizard.
People think their boxes are right. I'm like, no, that's not right. Sorry.
Oh, look at that. Screenshot that. Takes your word. It's crazy, man. You know? It's awesome. Big 4 is grounding the alt case, right? Yep.
Yep.
100%. Yeah, because like you think, you know, you do your big 3, you have your big run going from front to back. Then you got your number 2, which is your battery to your alternator. And then your 3, which is, what, to the ground, right? No, not even. 1 alternator. Yeah, I guess, well, what would it be? I'm trying to think.
Well,
Why can't I
it's
think straight?
Your
Alternator, 1, 2, 3, and then ground, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then your back end, I guess, ground or whatever. I don't know. The biggest things that I've seen in power progression, as in, you know, upgrading your sized wire, is you got to have the right size ground. Otherwise, you're not going to make any more power just by putting on a bigger power run. I noticed that. So that's why I'm like, bigger ground here. Now, a lot of people go kind of crazy with the grounds. They'll like throw like 3. You know, and it's like, doesn't the ground with the least resistance actually do the brunt of the work because it's least resistance? You know what I mean?
Well, ground is actually an excellent topic, because what a lot of people do is they ground to their batteries into the back. So say they'll have their battery here. Good example. I have this in here, and they'll go from this. This will be your negative. They'll go to the ground. So they'll run two wires instead of to the ground, and then they'll take their amplifiers and they'll ground the amplifier to the battery. Don't do that. Ground them separately. Ground each thing in your system should be grounded at a separate point.
That's kind of like what I did with mine. Instead of running the ground to the battery from the amplifier, because you can do that, I just grounded it to the chassis closest to the amp. So it's at least.
A lot of boats, you do have that. You know, when you ground, you have to ground because it's fiberglass. You have to ground to the battery, but it's not the correct way to do it. You should have each component should be grounded to its separate point. It's, you know, sanded paint, no paint, bare metal. Grounds are the most important thing, like Hi-Fi Vega said. Most important thing.
Absolutely. Because isn't that weird, like how batteries work, like the electrons or neutrons, whatever it's called, they flow through the negative part of the battery.
And then, like I was saying about we're setting up amplifiers, people think it's more efficient just to ground to the battery. It's not, because the battery is going to here. So if you have 3 foot from here to here and 3 foot from your amp to here, that's 6 foot. Right. If you just had your battery, your amplifier going from here to ground, that's 3 foot, so it's faster.
Right.
You don't get any more power going from here. You get the power going from the positive because current flows.
Right. Makes sense. Yeah, electricity's fun, man. It's like the best way to describe electricity, I tell to people, it's like water. You know, when you start talking about rise and, you know, voltage, amperage, all that fun stuff. So let's see. 25. I run to the ground on the other battery. No 3 feet for me. Yeah, it all depends. I mean, it's personal preference. I mean, are you going to see big differences? Technically, no. But if you want to do things the way that you want to do them, or to the T, and the correct way, in your opinion, that's the way to do it. Let's see, Kip. Current and voltage laws, power and ground are equally important. Yep, absolutely. Ohm's law, all that fun stuff. Yeah, the Kirchhoff current. Yeah, heck yeah. Let's see. Bobby B just stopped to say hi. Going to eat lobster, mac and cheese, and sourdough bread bowl. Oh, come on, man! I'm hungry. I've been live streaming for 2 hours now.
Sounds different. That sounds real good.
Electron flow is negative to positive, opposite of what people think. Absolutely. That's what I was... Yeah, it's crazy. You would think, you know, the power's coming from the positive. Nope, it's backwards. But I learned that by doing my own research on the side about the lithium iron phosphate batteries. And, you know, like how they have like the iron plate in the middle or whatever, like how they work differently than other batteries. and just, basic stuff. You're supposed to learn that in MECP, so it's cool to know that stuff. And it's stuff that you didn't even think that you wouldn't even want to know, but it's cool to know. It's awesome. Let's see. Food myself. Must be nice, guys. Come on. All right, here's 25. He's always got good questions. Any difference between old school wire runs and new school speaker wire? Was it done better then or now? I mean, that kind of goes hand in hand with like how Big D and Rob did like old amplifiers versus new amplifiers. And that almost goes with like the comparing new equipment to old equipment. Honestly, as you get further into the future with stuff, they're going to make things better, easier, more efficiently, cheaper, whatever. Now, is it better? I think no. I wouldn't say that the old stuff is better. Maybe at the time it was different to have something that good, and the price might have been higher, but with today and, with how different brands are out there with competitive pricing and stuff, and people do throw out junk. So there's more of a chance where you're going to get a Boss compared to a Rockford Fosgate wire or whatever kind of product you're buying. There's more of that than there was then. So I would say it's more of a gotta know the knowledge. It's a knowledge war, knowledge game out there more than what's better or worse.
I think Kicker did a video on that about speaker wire, power wire being like CCA versus OFC. I see Kip Litzie's comment here, speaker wire, power wire, copper is most important. And I would agree. I mean, you get a big difference out of your amplifier with using pure copper wire instead of, the cheaper CCA stuff. And then even if you lose 300 watts, you don't want to throw a 300 watt amp away.
Absolutely. And it comes down to what conductivity, the different metals and stuff like that. So it's just it's physics. You can't get around it. It's just going to take more CCAs. How you cheat yourself, don't do it. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Like how they did that power wire test, and people will always say, well, I got 4 runs of CCA on my, 20,000 watt build and it runs great. I have no issues. Okay, cool. Now, if you had 4 runs of OFC of the same size, same length, you could probably carry more current and with less resistance, but twice the price. Do you need that? It depends, So do you want to give up the space? Because either way, you're going to pay for it. Just like how Scott said in the last show, people buying cheaper amplifiers that aren't efficient. Well, to get the power and clean power, you're going to have to buff up your electrical more than you would with an amplifier that's more efficient and more expensive.
Absolutely.
So it goes hand in hand. It's just life, man. You can't get around it.
That's where people don't understand is, you could get an 8,000 watt amp for $400, $500, but compared to an 8,000 watt amp that's $1,200, that's a Korean based rather than a full bridge Brazilian based. It's a huge difference. Like Tom right here, Thomas Marshall, huge OFC speaker wire. I agree. I 100% agree.
I don't think I've ever had CCA speaker wire, and if I did, I didn't really care to look too much because it was probably Walmart stuff, but usually Walmart stuff was OFC, like their Scotia 4 gauge or 8 gauge kits. They're nice. They're better than the Metro that they come out with CCA crap, and that stuff's more expensive. It don't make sense.
The new Walmart kit is coated aluminum, which it looks like copper, but yeah,
right.
It looks like copper, but it ain't. So on the back of it, I'm like, okay, that's weird. I see this Ray Gibson comment here. PCM regulates the voltage. What type of vehicle is it? Because it may not be PCM controlled.
Yeah, it sounds like a Honda. I know Hondas are notorious for that, or GMs sometimes too, with like their Chevys.
At 13.8, that seems like a Chrysler vehicle.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too off.
Do you have a Chrysler product? Because that's not PCM.
Let's see here. Getting OFC is an investment for your system and the safety of your system car. Absolutely. Yep. Whenever you do it right, it's going to cost, but in the long run, you're going to save money and time, because I was kind of upset whenever I ran my 0 gauge kit. My buddy did it for me because I was like, I don't want to take apart my panel on my car. I'm going to break shit, bend stuff. You know what I mean? So I stood there. I helped him, We ran it through. And it was that junk CCA $29.99 0 gauge wire, and it worked, but then I would just start melting fuses because I'm pulling too much current through the wire. It can't handle it. So then the fuse is popping, or it's melting. Not even popping, it's just melting. And it could have been from a loose connection, but I had it happen over and over, and I'm like, I just need to get better wire. That is the problem. And like you guys said, the welding wire 2-aught is the way to go for the budget, man. You can't beat it. Yeah, and Metra's more expensive too, which is nuts. Because Scotia was the bee's knees at Walmart, man. You know, it's cheap, worked, OFC. Come on, you know. Felt bad for the stereo shops around trying to sell other stuff and whatnot, because it was decent stuff for budget entry guys. You know what I mean?
Well, this comment, let me touch on this. So car audio wire isn't like their 1-aught or 2-aught or whatever aught it is, or 4 gauge, isn't the same standard as American wire gauge. Some companies do use American wire gauge standard, but like Sky High, their 1-aught is huge. It's like 2-aught American wire gauge. So there is no standard in car audio for, you know, the wire size of your, the wire measurement size, I guess you'd call it.
That's what's crazy too, because yeah, you hear oversized 1-aught and whatever and stuff like that. And the welding wire, it's why you have to get the 2-aught, because then it's the same as the audio 1-aught, which doesn't make sense, but it depends what kind of audio 1-aught you get. Like if you watch Rob's videos, you know, some have lots of insulation, some don't, you know.
Because if you compare, you know, 1-aught welding cable to 1-aught, you know, eBay brand, 1-aught welding cable is huge.
Copper does cost money. Yep. And that's the thing. Yeah, like that 0 gauge kit that I got. It was the same size diameter as any 0 gauge wire, but inside when you cut it, there was nothing. It was like one of those memes you see, you know, like expectations and reality. Like it was like, what is this? You know, but what you're paying for, you're getting your money's worth at that price, but that's it. You might as well buy something better that costs more for what you actually need. True aught, that is why some wires labeled as 4 and not 4 AWG. I like him to go more into that. That's pretty interesting. I just know a little bit about a lot of it. I don't know too much in depth with stuff. That's pretty cool. We got that one already.
So the guy, can't remember his name now, Ray Gibson, he said he had a 99 Grand Marquis. Does that have the I guess you call the 220 amp alternator from the factory, which would be because I'm looking on Rock Auto here for your different alternators. Was your alternator a 130 or a 135 amp from the factory?
So they had different.
Yeah, they're both different, because the 135 amp is a 4G, a 4 letter like number 4 and G alternator, and then the other one is a 6G alternator. So there's 2 different ones.
Huh, that's crazy.
And then each one of them.
That out.
Yeah, and there's 2 different ones.
He said 135. Yeah.
Yeah, 135 factory. Okay, yeah, you have a 6G alternator. You have 14 volts. That's all you're pretty much going to get out of that. About 14 volts. Unless you go with another regulator in there, but like I said, you change a regulator out into something else, it's going to cause a bunch of problems. And I know on those motors, if you can fit your finger behind the alternator, we could put a hairpin in there, but if you can't put your finger behind it, you're not getting a hairpin in there, regardless what anyone says, because it's so tight compared to the prop here. The back of the alternator is going to sit like right on the intake. So you're not going to be able to fit anything larger than that, than when it comes from the factory.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's what it really boils down to, is the voltage regulator, because that's what regulates the voltage. You know what I mean? Because it's like that and the computer with the car. That's why a lot of people just do the external regulators, and you know, they have them mounted on their car, and they have like a dial to adjust it. But there's usually a reason why a car is telling you, hey, maybe you shouldn't be doing this. Hey, maybe we can just keep it at 14 volts. Let's just do that without messing up the computer or anything else.
Because these things right here, these XY Pwm modules,
Oh yeah, those are pretty cool. Yeah, I wanted you to show those.
You can see that. These can be found on eBay. A couple other companies sell them. So what these do is they are voltage manipulators. They're not regulators. It manipulates the voltage to the alternator. So you can pretty much adjust that on any GM 2-pin alternator or any Ford newer 6G alternator regulator. You could use that on and adjust the voltage with it. But they're very complex to wire up. If you do it wrong, it will have problems and you will blow the device up like this one.
Won't be good.
This one is no longer any good because it was hooked up the wrong way and then it went poof poof and no more juice.
Yeah, it's easier said than done, with that kind of stuff. But once you get the hang of it, it's like riding a bicycle. You'll never forget. Yeah, this was a comment up above here. Tom was asking, is that welding cable more solid than softer car audio wire? And I think that's kind of like what I was saying earlier when it comes down to the thread count, the flexibility of the wire. I don't think it's the metal itself, maybe, too. I don't know if aluminum's more flexible than copper, but I'm sure it has something to do with it. But I think it's the strand count. Because that was the thing whenever I first got into, I would say car audio to our degree now, like in 2016, where I wanted more. And obviously you go to Home Depot and you see these big 1-aught wires, 2-aught wire, 4-aught wire, and those things are huge. And it's like $2 a foot. And it's like, well, why can't I just use this for my car? I think it's something different with the current too and the voltage. The welding wire can handle up to 660 amps or something like that, or 660 volts, one of the two.
The welding wire can handle, depending on how long the run is.
Right, of course.
I think it's measured at 20 feet, 600 volts at 20 feet. I think it's 20 feet. I could be wrong.
Right, so it's like you'd almost have to figure out the math with the voltage and the amperage and all that kind of stuff and the current. But I mean, either way, it's the same kind of wire. It's just there's less strands of it, and I think that's what makes the wire softer or tougher, stuff like that. Let's see.
Yeah,
25. Scorpion battery terminals with 1-aught, 4-aught, and 288. Any good? Those are nice for especially whenever you want to retain your, let's say, stock wiring, like your alternator wire, your computer wire, all that kind of stuff, and you want to be able to jam that in there and have your audio wire. That's what those are nice for. Otherwise, then you're making lugs or you're trying to jam them into 0-aught gauge terminals like what I do. Doesn't work either way, sure. The 8 gauge and the 4 gauge might look nicer, and it depends your system. But yeah, those are definitely nice, especially for $35. That's a deal.
Yeah,
any kind of terminal like
$35.
that. Yeah. What's Thomas say? Being the difference in wire gauge. Could be. I mean, that's like anything, like a piece of rubber that's this thick, this long. Is it bendable more than something that's this skinny and that long? Obviously the skinnier one probably will bend better, more elasticity than plastic to it. Let's see. We got a lot of comments here.
Absolutely. I'm reading through them right now.
Truth time. What do you really think of Scoot? Scoot is Scott from Power Hog. He's an awesome dude, man. Lucky to know him, and just kind of fell in his grace to come on his podcast, and it's been rolling thunder ever since.
Exactly. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we want to make sure the OSS meet is still happening, Kip. If you're still here, let us know. We heard rumors that it might not be. That might just be the 14.4 volt talk blowing smoke up our butt. But yeah, let us know, because I definitely want to go. If the stars align, I will be there.
I see Kip's comment.
What's he saying? Stranded wire is for flexibility unless you want to get deep into the skin effect at high frequency. Ooh, I need to pick his brain. That's
what
crazy.
A big old thumbs up.
Yeah. See, he knows his stuff, man. He really does.
The same thing happens with alternators. If you throw too small of a pulley on an alternator, it'll shut down it'll cause our frequency in the rotor, shut down the regulator, and it won't charge.
Really? Wow.
Yep.
I mean, that makes sense, but that's crazy.
When Tom told me it, I was like, wow, that's incredible. He's like, yeah, I tested it, And surely enough, it really does. If you put a real small pulley on an alternator, it will shut the regulator down. And I guess his one buddy was like, yeah, it's because it throws the frequency off. That shuts the regulator down. I was like, wow, that's incredible. I never would have thought that.
Wow. There's so much into everything that we do, and it's so deep. It's like the ocean. You're never really going to hit the bottom, you know?
Well, you can't after, you know.
Yeah, when you think you hit the bottom, then you're like, oh, wait a minute, there's more.
There's about 2 more feet here.
That's it. Audio wire and welding wire. I mean, we kind of been on it. I mean, the main difference is price and flexibility. I know you already follow Rob. Robert Hi-Fi Vega. Watch his wire charts and, you know, comparisons and stuff like that. He is the guy to talk to on that. And obviously Kip, too. Kip knows his stuff. And he's funny. You got best of both worlds there. Voltage regulators, any good? What do they do? I mean, that's kind of part of the alternator, and it just regulates the voltage, like we were saying.
You have this style voltage regulator. This is a GM IN603 4-pin. What's most commonly used on lithium batteries for 14-volt use. Then you have like a Transpo 90211R, which is that blue box. You know, that Soda Pop uses in blue box.
Yeah.
Then you have a V1200, Transpo V1200. They all do the same thing. They just regulate the voltage. That's all they do. They don't do anything else. They don't. If you're dropping to 12 volts, you won't have any difference between going from this regulator to another one.
That's crazy. Yeah, see, I didn't want to do the whole voltage regulator thing because I kind of wanted to keep it as stock as I could without running, because I don't like doing something unless I absolutely know what I'm doing enough and feel comfortable. Because then what if your voltage regulator spikes, then you burn out your stock electrical. I already had my whole car catch on fire in the front end. I'm good, you know.
That's why I recommend these, because these are pretty much OE regulators for GM vehicles from like 99 to 04, and they never have, not say never, they hardly have any problems at all.
You gotta pet your dog.
I got my headphones on, sorry. Don't noise canceling.
Yeah.
Don't noise canceling. Come here.
I can't. The dog needs puppy chow. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you're streaming for 2 hours, you know? I can't. Tom's tuning the puppy one. There we go. See, live and direct. We got dogs on the channel. Is he a subwoofer? Is that what he is?
No, his name's Buttercup.
Buttercup, that's a name.
So you're a good doggy.
Tom, I'm glad you're having fun, man. Glad you're having fun. That's a good song. We should play that and not get demonetized.
Yeah, I guarantee that will not happen.
I'm surprised one of my kids didn't come busting through the door yet. You know what I mean? It's usually about that time.
Yeah, are you done yet?
Yeah. No, I'm having fun though. This is cool. We got 11 people on here now. That's awesome. Yeah, I wish I could do live a little more often. It's just, you know, so much going on. It's fun.
We have to do a live build of an alternator.
Right, side jag. Pretty cool to be in the chat feed with Ohio Generator. Ohio's home to me. Yes, Kip is a local.
Local?
From Lima.
Wow, that's not that far away.
No, other side of Ohio from us, but, you know, close enough. Compared to Oklahoma down Stillwater, you know. I know, he was just out here a week ago. He didn't even stop and say hello. What's going on, you know? No, he's busy like me, too. It's crazy. Yeah, tomorrow I gotta go out birthday shopping for Kayla. Her birthday's on Monday. Sunday, it's her sister's birthday, so we gotta do that. And Tuesday, kicker, you know? So, and then work Wednesday and Friday, Thursday, and then we're back here again, you know?
My birthday was yesterday.
Your birthday was yesterday?
Yep.
You didn't even say nothing to me. Happy birthday. Jeez.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Come on, man.
I expect a discount.
Yeah. Gotcha. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Yes. Yeah, you guys do need to smash that like button, please. It means a lot to a YouTuber. I mean, views are cool, but half your views are from people that you don't know, and they may never see your channel again. But those likes, I know the people that follow my content have saw it and they liked it. Because, you know, there's a lot into all this stuff. There really is.
On who hit the dislike button? That's my first thing. That's my.
You know what?
Question.
I'm happy YouTube Studio did away with the dislike button. I don't see it anymore, so it doesn't bother me. I had to physically go on YouTube and look at the video and then look for the dislikes. But I've been pretty good recently, so I'm not complaining. But
Thank you,
it's because I'm doing
Appreciate
Amp Dyno videos. You know what I mean? It's like not what's the word I'm looking for? It's not like, oh well, you're wrong. You know what I mean? Like debatable. Like whenever I did like how to install a subwoofer, there are millions of ways to install a subwoofer, but that was my way to install it. You know, then I got like 3 downs. I'm like, what did I do wrong? Did I put it in backwards? You know.
Thank you, Jam.
Happy birthdays.
Thank you.
Button smashed. Let's see, Kip. I was in Ohio for a wedding. For one of my bros, literally drive in, sleep, wedding rehearsal, sleep, wedding, sleep, drive home. It was a long weekend. Wow, you did that all in a weekend. That's tough, and you drove. So I know if you drove from Lima, Ohio to Stillwater, I can drive from Pittsburgh to Stillwater. So he gave me some hope there, Kip. Thanks. Kayla's going to kill me. Be cheaper than flying, I think. Birthday boy, we should have gotten you that cake. The woman pops out like the movie Under Siege. I can't.
You mean it's a little person?
Oh, come on, 25. You know what? If there's a dislike button on this video, I'm coming for you. Those like force the YouTube. Yeah, it does force the YouTube algorithm. That and audience retention, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's a little different than TikTok and Facebook and Twitter and all the other stuff. But it's like a, snowball rolling down a hill, you know. As you keep going, the snowball gets bigger and it's rolling faster, it's collecting more. That's how the YouTube algorithm really works.
14
hours. Yep. 15.2 for me or 15.5. I forget what it was.
Well, the question is, do you have a kicker system? Because that'd make it easily 14 hours. You know, rolling through with some kicker components like the Q series.
Yeah,
them sound good.
I know. I want to upgrade the Pilot, but I don't know. It sounds pretty good for what it is. I do have one KS 3.5 in the center channel to make it a little bit louder. It's a lower impedance than the stock one, and because the Honda Pilot's weird. For the DVDs, like when you're playing movies, you would think that the sound would come out your front door speakers, your middlers, your twiddlers, whatever, and your center channel for like the vocals in the front, like a home theater system. Well, it's actually 5.1. So it's only putting out the vocals through the center channel, and unless they're on your right side or on your left side, you're not going to hear it. So it's kind of a dumb concept because then the people in the back can't hear it, and then I got to blast it for them to hear it. And then I'm getting like, woofers are shaking down on the ground, the sub's going, it's just too loud. So that's something I want to do. But that's almost like DSP and redirect it to a 2.1 channel, so it just plays it normally. Like, come on.
Give me that key. Give me a kicker key.
I would love to mess with the key 200.4 or the 180.4 for my dad's car, but after further talking we're seeing what Dean was talking about, I think it'd be almost better for my Toyota RAV4 to get the KISS lock to just help with the DSP rather than amplify it. So I want to talk to him about that. Andy, I'm driving from Rhode Island, bro. Man, you're even farther. You're even farther. Are you going to the OSS meet? You gotta let me know. You just got off work. That's where you're saying 24 hours. That's insane. Kip.
Oh yeah.
Q coaxial speakers sound amazing. I know people gravitate to components for better sound, but those coax sound amazing. Right, I want to mess with their Q class. I've heard them, tuned them for my buddy Todd. He had all Q class 12s, Q class class components, 6x9, 6.5, you name it. They sounded nice. The only reason I kind of went with the KS back in the day, and I kind of just stuck with it, was I looked at the power handling. I'm like, 150 RMS or 125 or 100, I forget what it was, for the 6x9 coaxial. I'm like, I'll just go with the one that can handle more power. Here. But I'm sure those Q classes, coaxial, sound better. Let's see, 25. Rockford Fosgate does amazing stuff, requiring only 4-aught for less of their amps. No need for 1-aught OFC. How can this be done? Well, I think that would be why you need certain size wire isn't for just power alone, it's distance. And like how they tested on the Kicker show, and like how I do, on short runs, you can run like an 8-gauge wire and pull like almost 1,000 watts out of it. Now, is that the best thing to do? No. But can it be done? Sure. It's the distance. So what happens is the voltage, the current, and then the resistance, the distance, all that fun stuff factor in what size power wire you need. Now, the 4-aught wire, why they maybe had smaller, not 0-gauge, is because their amplifiers are just more efficient. So it's taking less power to make that power, because you have input power and then output power. Your input power is what your amplifier is pulling from the alternator, the batteries, and then the output power is what the amplifier is actually doing. So when you have a shark or an audio pipe that's 50% efficient and it does 1500 watts at 1 ohm, but it's 50% efficient, you need 3000 watts of input current to make that 1500 watts. So then with a 4-gauge, you just need less for what you can get. Efficiency. That's what it really comes down to. Andy, that Solo X made the quad box look smaller than what it really is. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, man. That quad box is nice because it's convenient. It can fit in a lot of cars. It's not going to fit in your Honda Civic, but it'll fit in your SUV, your, small, compact crossover. That's where it's going to fit. It's not very big. I think it's, 35 inches by 28 or something like that, or give or take. Right, yeah, the Solo X is pretty big. Plus, it had the BAM on there. It made it look bigger.
I was thinking of getting one of those quad boxes, but I'm seeing if they come out with another bigger, instead of the L7 with the L7S's in that.
Yeah,
I'm waiting to see if they come out with one with the Solo X in it. With the new
you could
X
do L7S. You would, with that kind of box spec. Obviously, you would need a new cutout because they're a little bit different. The L7Rs are like a comp R but square. So they're a little bit smaller basket, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, dude, that would be cool. But then you would just need more power. They kind of made it where you can be a lot louder with a lot less. If you do the L7Ss, you would probably need maybe not twice the power, but another 500 to 800 watts more to be just as loud and sound just as good. But it might be louder then too. But it all depends. It really does. And then price, do you want to pay any more?
It's a hell of a price. It's a hell of a price. I mean, for what you're getting 4 subs with a birchwood box that's like, built like a tank. That's Absolutely. A good deal. It's a good deal for $1,500. Definitely a good deal.
They had like internal bracing, everything, man. Kerf port, shoot. Absolutely. Pick any gauge wire. As length goes up, current capacity goes down. The opposite also is true. Absolutely. Thank you, Kip. Yeah, you could push a lot of amps on a 2-foot run of 4-gauge. Yeah. I know whenever I did Kayla's old school SPL run, I think I used a JYHP 40, but I only used 8-gauge wire, and I was clamping like 1400 watts out of that one amp on 8-gauge wire. Not recommended, but it was only a foot long, so. L7R is a square comp R. Actually, the L7R is a new version of the old L5. I know, I love the L5s. I still have one now. I don't know. It is cool. It's like the R. I mean, a lot of people do ask about, the L5s. Why don't they make them anymore? But you guys do. You really do.
So what does the R and the L stand for? Because I know the T stands for thin. But what does the R and the L stand for?
I don't. Red series? Red line? Something like that. Because you think the comp R's got like, red stitching and stuff like that. And then the S, but it's blue stitching. But they just started doing that when they did away with just the regular solo barrack, and they have the L7S, which is the same thing, just, tweaked in a way or two. Yeah, I don't know what the R actually stands for. That's a good question. Comp means competition, so we got that underway,
Really loud.
I can't.
Korean.
Yeah.
Korean amps are my favorite.
Your Korean amps, U.S. engineered, Chinese. U.S. engineered are awesome, but then you're looking at the price because we actually pay our people. Chinese amps. I'm trying to think. I know Korean amps, half bridge, strappable, all that kind of fun stuff. Brazilian, full bridge, that's what they're known for. Kicker, full bridge. Chinese amps, what's a Chinese amp? Is that like...
Scar Audio, the RP series, Scar Audio, Audio Pipe, a few other brands to use Chinese boards. It's all the same. I think the Audio Pipe 1500 watt. American Bass use Chinese stuff too. The Audio Pipe 1500 watt, the American Bass 2400 hybrid or whatever it is, and then the Scar Audio RP 1200 all use like the same board, which is a generic Chinese amp.
Wow.
But it's a good amp. It's a good amp though. Don't get me wrong. It's a good amp.
Right. They do power and the price. I mean, that's what I tell people. It's like, Scar, they're a new brand, and they are one of the most popular on Amazon and stuff. Like you type in 12-inch sub, Scar comes up, DDX or whatever.
Yeah, you type it on Google, 12-inch sub. I mean,
right. Yeah, there you go.
Right.
So it's just like, but then it comes down to efficiency. It's like, well, this Scar is 600 watts peak, 300 RMS, and it's cheaper than a Kicker, or it's cheaper than a JL, and it's like, but is it going to be as loud and sound as good as the other brands and stuff like that?
That's where,
yeah,
that's where. Sorry for interrupting you.
You're good.
That's where people don't get, the same thing. Yeah, you can get as loud, but the sound quality is what really matters to me. L5s are great. They are great indeed.
Heck yeah. Okay, here we go. We got our answer. Line progression for round subs from entry-level comps, or CVR, Comp R, CVX, Comp Q. Right, and I think he was just kind of asking if there was like an actual term for the R or not, but yeah, pretty much. Heck yeah. Yeah, because I know they, what is it, the Comp VX now. It's not the CVX, it's the Comp VX. And that always threw me off, because I'm like, oh, they did away with the CVX. They're like, no, they have the Comp VX. And I'm like, oh, is that the same thing? And I'm like looking at the specs, and it's like, yeah, 1000 RMS, 15, okay. Because my buddy John, he had a CVX 15 on a Kicker 1000.1. This was back in 2008, so this thing was loud. You know what I mean? And I think he just had it in a sealed box too. It was nothing crazy. It wasn't ported. If it was, I forget. Because he usually ran his kickers in sealed. Let's see. R was just the letter we picked sounding good. See, that's what I figured. Yeah. That's what I was really thinking. I'm like, I should know this. I don't know this. What does R stand for? We'll go with the red line, because it's R, red, and stitching and theme. Because they changed up the Comp Rs this year. Yeah, they could put pull venting into them through the coil side. Let's see. I absolutely love my 06. That's what they were. 06 CVX 12 dual 4s. I have 4. My all-time favorite round subs. They are. And whenever I first got my Solo X and I would talk to a few people that actually knew a thing or two about audio, they would always kind of say, they'd be like, well, the Solo X is the biggest and it's the loudest, but the CVX in performance was better. Now, looking at that now, actually knowing what I'm talking about, kind of, I mean, the efficiency is around the same. I think the CVX is a little bit higher, dB at whatever, 3 feet. But, I mean, if you look at the QES and the FS and everything else, I really don't see the big difference. Shoot, they both are great drivers, but the CVX is almost like the Comp Q, where they have that, but just back in the day, Pretty cool. And it was like an L7, but round, Same thing, but just different. Because a round sub is going not sound different, but applications are going to be different. And when you get down to it, I'm sure it does make a small hair difference if it's round or square. But with the Kicker technology and like the rib surround and just how they design woofers, I'm sure they got around that as best as they could. Did Dean talk about Kip Tuesday? I don't know, because I missed 12 volt talk and reverse polarity because I had to drive to work because I've been doing the business since my dad's taking care of my mom. By the way, my mom is doing better. She is home and she had a good surgery. Thank you for all your prayers and thoughts. Kip seen that Alpine Type R and was like, that's it. That's it.
And Alpine makes good stuff too.
Oh yeah, man. Alpine, I got a soft spot for them. Soliberic D are awesome. Soliberic D. Let's see. Tom. Well, my S15Ds are pretty outstanding too. Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
I'm on Kicker's website looking at their Q series components. I'm thinking about buying a set. I'm thinking about it.
They're
Carbon
nice,
fiber look really nice.
Yeah, I like the component ones where you can see it's like not a bullet tweeter, but a dome in the middle of it. I think that's really cool. It reminds me of like Soda's build. You know, it just looks crazy. It's cool.
It looks like it can be used as both, like a component or a coax. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it can. I think it comes apart, and then you can either put it in there in the middle and run it as a coaxial, or you can position the tweeter somewhere else, which is awesome.
Frequency response 50 hertz to 22,000. 50 hertz to no way.
Yeah, they get loaded. I wouldn't say below 40 hertz, but
no, that's like what you expect your.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to be dipping down to 20 hertz with those anyway. Yeah.
No, I mean, like if you go get a new set of speakers for your car, you expect them to sound, have some bass. And you get them put in here, it's like, that thing's crap. But then these, they look like you put them in your car, and it's like, these have some bass to them.
Dude, that was
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I was saying with they do have bass. Whenever I blew my Solo X at Slamology 2 years ago, Jeremy Brown was like, "Don't worry." He's like, "You got those KS 6x9s up front." Bless you. He's like, "You got those KS 6x9s up front." He's like, "Those are like little 8-inch subwoofers. You turn that low pass off or whatever, and they actually do sound good." I play with them usually in the driveway, usually testing and tuning, and then get rid of the low pass whenever I throw my bass on, and then tune with that. But I like listening to the actual quality, and I could just imagine if the KSs sound that good, what the Qs will sound like.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. The OG XPL. I'm gonna have to buy a set of these.
The OG XPL was the most misunderstood speaker we ever made. I'd like to know more about that. I remember the XPLs, the older ones, right?
Send a link. We want to view the link. Got any? You got any in the Kicker Catacombs? That'd be great.
Oh, it's because Vegas said it. The OG ribbed XPLs are the GOAT, though. Heck yeah. See, I never had Kicker's older stuff like that. I'm now starting to collect it, And I don't want to be one of those people who are like, "Oh, I'm just going to collect it because I like Kicker stuff." But it's like, it's fallen into my lap, so why not? I have like one of their old, their infinite baffle drivers, like one of the original Kickers. But the Spider has terrible sag, and the surround is ripped, and I got it for like $10, so I wasn't complaining.
Oh, $10. You can't complain about that.
No. GPX or costs? Let me throw it back up. What's costs? GPX, I've heard of them.
I've never heard of costs either.
No. Black Sheep or Card Audio. I can't.
I got it.
I first got it. Oh yeah. Heck yeah.
This Kicker key looks pretty cool too. I'm on Kicker's website looking at their stuff.
The key amp?
Yeah, key amp. They look pretty cool too.
Dude, that thing is way ahead of its time, and I'm surprised no one else has copied it because it's crazy. It's a DSP in your pocket, and you just hook it up, throw in the mic, play it for 5 minutes, walk away. Boom, car's DSP'd. Tuned, staged, everything. Yeah.
$250 too. That's a good deal.
Right, because it's not just a DSP; it's an automatic DSP. You know what I mean? Right. You don't have to do anything. You just go in there, boom. Throw some pink noise on, you're good to go. So yeah, they're definitely awesome. Plus they're little powerhouses. It does 500 watts at 1 ohm and like 300 watts at 2 and 200 at 4 or something like that.
I'm looking at the 4-channel one. The 4-channel
204.
Yeah, 50 times 50 by 4, which is way more than a stereo does.
Well, let's see. This background music got me in the mood. Heck yeah, man. I love the music in the background. It makes it not so boring. You know what I mean? Just some guys talking. It's like, oh, we're chilling, we're jiving, we're having a good time. Let's see. Hi-Fi is right. The OG rib cone, they were designed to be ultra efficient, not big power handling, 100 watts on the OG XPL, and they were loud, sounded good. I bet you the DB or the efficiency SPL was probably like 93 on those, easy. Anything more than it needs a really big box, you know. That's crazy. That's the thing too, compared to nowadays and back then. You know, you didn't have 1,000 watts back in the 90s, and if you did, you were very rich. Yeah, it's like a $4,000 amplifier then, costing like $8,000 today. You know, it's crazy, man.
Well, didn't that one guy comes into meets? I can't remember his name. He has that black Suburban with like 16 kickers in it. You know, PPI amps.
John Arabic.
Yeah, that's
John Arabic.
Yeah, he has that build he has is killer. Definitely killer.
Yeah. I wish I would have heard it before they were all blown, because I know there's only 4 left. It definitely does need repaired, but to repair those kickers, he'd have to pull out that whole clam, and it's all fiberglass. So, but it's definitely nostalgia. It's like something you just need to put in a kicker museum. You hear that, Kip? Gotta talk to John Harabic. I'm sure you heard of him. I post about him here and there. He's a local guy to Pittsburgh area, and he's had the kicker 16-inch comps. They're 15-inch, 16 of them in a clamshell. And I think he's got them on gold amps, US gold amps. I forget which it was.
I thought they're PPI amps.
Is it PPI?
I think they might be. I don't know. I know they're the big class AB amps.
Right, yeah. Terribly inefficient, but awesome. I had 4 XPLs on 2 Orion 225 HCCAs, and it was heaven. Heck yeah, man. Yeah, because those 225s, didn't they almost do rated? I think I've seen Derek do a dyno on those 225 Orions.
They did 2 times 25 watts.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. Oh, Scott's here. What's up, buddy? We'll have to bring you on sometime, too. DJ was just still hanging out, so I was like, do you want to go live? I didn't do a video this week. You want to go live? Let's go live. We'll have fun. Kip is always listening. I know that. Let's see. Yeah, about 400 watts. I mean, that's not bad even back then, you know, but again, with the efficiency, you know, how efficient were those amps? Not very.
Wow, that's 30%.
Right.
40%.
I'd love to learn about Class A amps, where it's just full send, full tilt boogie the whole time, totally inefficient. I want to learn about those. It's like an SQ thing, supposedly. Go to sleep,
Scott.
Literally watching paint primer dry. I can't. Well, good thing we're on, Kip. You know, something to listen to other than watching the paint dry, you know? How's the house coming, brick by brick? Let's see. Y'all are good. Have fun about the crash. Yeah, good night, Scott. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, buddy. Let's see. We have to pull one of Joe's subs out for a recount. Oh, no. Was he clipping? You got to tell me. Tell me later. You're probably off now. Yeah, hit the like button, please. Appreciate it. Which means pull his whole front baffle out in 2 braces. See, that's the problem whenever you know, break something. Especially when you're that big, you know, and you got it done nice. Then you got to tear it all apart. You know, that's kind of how I felt with stuff, you know, but shoot, man. A whole entire wall and a whole baffle, like your whole port. That's crazy, man. That's a lot of work, and to make it look nice again, because his looked nice. He had lights and everything inside. It wasn't no slap together system. I just bought a brand new stock Eclipse. Oh, you know what? That head unit, I think I had that one. It had lots of pre-out voltage, but it had no aux. All it had was CD, and I don't even know if it had USB. I think it literally just had CD. There was no Bluetooth. It was so old, but it had like 5-volt pre-outs, and I'm like, ooh, this is nice.
That's the way to do it. They sound the best.
Yeah, heck yeah. Let's get. I actually got brick delivered today too. Awesome. Let's see. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I think I'm about to kick it too. I'm getting tired. It's 11 o'clock here. Need to eat something, hang out with the kids and everything, but it's been fun, DJ, man. Thanks for hanging out with me while we're on here and talking to all these people. And I like your setup. You're ready to do some videos. And
got the OG. This one.
OG, you know it.
This way. And I got the excess power with the MTX on the floor. I can't pick it up. No.
Oh, be careful.
My bad.
You don't want to get a hernia live on TV, you know?
I'm live on the TV. Oh, 9,500.
Oh, would you look at that? I can't. Let's see real fast. If you have ever seen the movie Crazy People, you need to see it. You will never look at Meta Muesli the same way again. I'll have to look at that. Is that on Netflix, Kip? You'll have to let me know.
Let's see if it's
Crazy
on
People.
Netflix.
I can't. No USB Bluetooth adapters out there. Right. That's the only way, and I got rid of it. Because good luck finding that adapter. It plugs into like the RCA's or something stupid, and the head unit's so old. Yep.
It's like them old Sirius XM transmitters that plugged into the back of the head unit.
All right, Vega. Thanks for sticking with us, buddy. I'll talk to you.
Yeah, I hear you on that one.
All right, Ashy, a.k.a. Thomas Marshall. He said nice sub.
Thank you. I'll get a haircut, don't you worry.
Oh, come on, man. You got to look good for the peeps, you know what I mean?
Next time you see me, I'll be bald.
Flashing a sub is like, yep. Well, why do you think he's going to make a TikTok? You know, he's just going to flash the subwoofer, you know what I mean? All kinds
just
of
go like this, but it won't be underneath. It'll just be transition to a subwoofer.
That's it. Thank you, MR2 Racer 89. Yeah, I think that's it, man. But thank you. Yeah, we'll go with that, man. Thank you guys for watching. I should have a video this week. I'm behind, but I'll keep you updated. If you guys want to see more DJ, smash that like button, comment after the video ends, and we'll say that's a wrap. Any last words, DJ?
No, if you need an alternator, head up high generator, or get a hold of me or Andy on Facebook, and we'll hit you. We'll get you. I have a stuttering problem. I apologize. Yeah, we'll get you fixed up.
Absolutely. And either between me or him, man, we'll get you that hookup on the Ohio Gen. Definitely get awesome. And Universe collides. And awesome, Kip. I'll give you a buzz. Awesome. And thank you everyone else for watching. And I'll see you guys next time.
See you guys.